Hi guys, welcome to Alamay's blog. Please subscribe. For today's topic, we will talk about Chapter 6, Lesson 3C. It's all about fundamentals of taxation. What do we mean by taxation? It is a term for when a taxing authority, usually a government, levies or imposes a financial obligation on its citizens or residents. Paying taxes to governments or officials has been a mainstay of civilization since ancient times. Nature of taxation. First, it is the principle of taxation states that taxes are collected to support the government in expenses and services for public welfare. Second, the Constitution also states that revenues through taxation must only be used for government operations and for public welfare. And last, the nature of taxation also implies as how the burden of taxation is distributed among different sections of the community. Purpose of taxation. The main purpose of taxation is to raise revenue for the services and income supports the community needs. Public revenue should be adequate for that purpose. Taxes also shield domestic producers by levying a much higher custom duties on imported goods. And last, taxes safeguard newly opened industries to pioneering in new industries and other enterprises. Canons of taxation. By canons of taxation, we simply mean the characteristic or qualities which a good tax system should possess. In fact, canons of taxation are related to administrative part of taxes. There are three types: fiscal adequacy, administrative feasibility, equality or theoretical justice. What do we mean by fiscal adequacy? Means the sources or revenue must be sufficient to meet government expenditures and other public needs. It also creates new taxes or new tax machinery or by merely changing the rates applicable to existing taxes. Administrative feasibility means that tax laws, rules, and regulations must be capable of being administered and complied with. The tax laws should be capable of convenient, just, and effective administration. Each tax should be clear and plain to the taxpayer, capable of uniform enforcement, convenient as to time, place, and manner of payment, not unduly burdensome upon or discouraging to business activity. Theoretical justice, also known as equality, means that the tax burden should be proportionate to the taxpayer's ability to pay. This is the so-called ability to pay principle. It also means that taxes levied must be based upon the ability of the citizens to pay. Justice and equality are vague terms. They are furthermore relative to popular concepts of justice which prevails at any time and place. Basis of taxation. The Constitution, the fundamental law of the land, statutes, laws passed by the Congress or presidential decrees, Bureau of International Revenue rules and regulation, judicial decisions on tax cases by the Supreme Court, provincial, city, and municipal ordinances, observance of international agreements, and administrative ruling and opinions. Objects of taxation. First, individuals who earn a considerable amount of income as a worker or as a businessman in partnerships or corporations. Second, tangible and intangible properties, whether personal properties. And lastly, transactions, consumptions, interests, imports and exports, and privileges. Situs taxation. It is a Latin term for place or location. It refers to the place where taxes are to be paid. Income tax, a type of tax that governments impose on income generated by businesses and individuals within their jurisdiction. Real property tax, a tax paid on property owned by an individual or other legal entity such as a corporation. Personal property tax, a form of taxation on what is termed personal property. Some states tax personal property such as motor vehicles, boats, and aircrafts. Business and occupation taxes. A tax imposed on or measured by the value of products, the gross income of the business, or the gross proceeds of sales as the case may be, and that is the legal liability of the business. Limitations of taxation. Inherent limitations. These are the limitations that are not affected by changes in the provisions of the constitutions. First, the tax revenues must only be used for public purpose. Second, there should be proper delegation of legislative power to tax. Third, government entities are exempted. Fourth, these are territorial jurisdictions. And lastly, there is an observance of international law. Constitutional limitations of taxations. These limitations are more subject to change when a new constitution is introduced in the country. Observance of due process of law. Article 3, Section 14.1 of the Constitution says that no person shall be held to answer for a criminal offense without due process of law. Equal protection of the law. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall a person be denied the equal protection of the laws. Article 3, Section 1. Uniformity and equity rule. The rule of taxation must be uniform and equitable, and likewise progressive. Article 6, Section 28.1. Non-imprisonment for non-payment of poll tax. No person shall be imprisoned for a debt, nor non-payment of a poll tax. Article 3, Section 20. No appropriate for religious purposes. No public money or property shall be appropriated, applied, played, or employed, directly or indirectly, for the use, benefit, or support of any sect, church, and domination. Double taxation refers to an instant when an income, a property, or a transaction was imposed with the two or more taxes by taxing authority in the same year. Direct duplicate. Same income tax twice. It also occurs when an income is taxed at both the corporate and personal level or by two. And when we talk about indirect duplicate, it means taxes that are paid by the same individual or corporation based on two or more different taxing bases. It's also the most common example of an indirect tax is import duties. The question of government taxing itself. The government may be taxed if it derives profit in the exercise of its proprietary capacity. The government functions in its governmental capacity when it serves the people and delivers basic services to them. The government acts in its proprietary capacity when it functions for profit. What do we mean by avoiding taxation? These are the other concepts related to taxation in terms of avoidance or non-payment. First, we have shifting. This is the passing on of the tax burden from one person to another. Second, we have capitalization. This is done by reducing the price of a taxable product or service to the lower the tax that will be imposed on its consumption. Third, we have tax avoidance. It refers to the availing by the taxpayer of legally allowable means in reducing or minimizing the tax due. Fourth, we have tax evasion. It refers to the use by the taxpayer of illegal means in escaping, defeating, or lessening the tax due. And lastly, we have tax exemption. The bestowal of immunity by the taxing authority on a taxpayer from the obligation of tax payment. That's all for today. God bless everyone and be safe.